Okay, so we're finally ready to query our database. To do this, we're going to use the select statement. The most basic form of a select statement includes a select clause. So for example, I could select a literal like select hello, and the results pane would output hello. But more often than not, you won't just have a select clause in a select statement, you'll also have a from clause, even in the most basic statements. And the way they work together is your select is going to select your columns, and your from clause is going to select your table that those columns are coming from. So it would look something like this: select column names from table name. Okay, so I think it's time that we go to our database and try some select statements of our own. Once you connect to SQL Server, go ahead and click New Query, switch to the correct database, and let's get started. So I mentioned how we need to select our columns from our tables. But what if we want to select all of the columns from a table? Do we have to type them all out? The answer is no. We're going to use an asterisk. So in SQL, we'll type select all from, and let's do our voyage table. And we'll click execute. And that gives us all of the data from all of our columns in our voyage table. And if I don't want all of the columns, I just want a few, I can type select start date, end date, and before I type this last one, you might have noticed that window popping up. And what it's doing is it's part of IntelliSense for SQL Server. And so it's trying to autocomplete what I'm selecting. So it knows that I'm looking at that voyage table, and it's going, oh, I bet you're typing the purpose column for this voyage table. And so I can see that it's highlighting purpose right now because I've typed enough for it to figure it out. And I'm going to hit tab, and it selects that column. You might have also noticed as I was typing voyage to select that table, it also was going to use IntelliSense with that. So once we've typed all that out with the help of IntelliSense, we can click execute. And now I'm just going to get the data from those 3 columns from the voyage table instead of all of the columns. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling pretty confident about select statements because you're going to try a couple of them on your own. So on the next screen, you can go ahead and pause it while you do a couple of these challenges. And then after that, we'll look at them together. Okay, let's see how you did. So the first challenge was to select all columns from the discovery table. So you should have typed select all from discovery. And when we click execute, we get all the columns from the discovery table. Okay, and then the next challenge was to select the first and last names from the individual table. So you would have typed select first name, comma, last name from individual. And in SQL Server, I can have both of these statements here. And if I just want to run one of them, I'll highlight it before I click execute. And then it'll just run that statement. And when I do, I see that I correctly selected just the first name and last name from the individual table. So I'm sure you did the same. I'm sure you did great. Thanks for joining me. Be sure to check out the next video.